Hey guys, all right, so tonight I was just kind of sitting here, just kind of looking at the business and how it's been performing so far this year. We are 2/3 of the way through the year, 8 months in. August is just about over. It's kind of crazy to think about how fast the year has gone by and everything that has happened. And kind of what I was looking at, not just revenue wise, how I've performed, but what were some of the big issues that I encountered this year? Why didn't I do more in revenue, and what could have been better? And I came to a realization today as I was going through all of my KPIs under my Turo analytics. And one of the things that I realized is I made a huge mistake. And that is when I got into Turo, one of the things I used to do was only keep my cars up to about 36,000 miles or so, and then I would rotate out of them. And I did that for many, many, many years. This is kind of the first year, and towards the end of last year is the first time where I decided not to rotate out of my cars because they were performing so well. And so I thought, you know what, let me do something a little bit different. Let me just hang on to these cars. They're maintained very well. I haven't really had any issues, and just revenue wise, they're doing really well. So why keep rotating out of them? In my 5 years of being on the platform, I've had at least, I want to say, at least 30 cars between all the rotations that I've gone through. And usually my philosophy on getting out of cars at around 36,000 miles was to get out of them while they were still in warranty, because I didn't want the variable cost of maintenance and just kind of the random things that could happen. And of course, sure enough, as I was going through all of my cars and how they performed this year, one of the things that I realized that this year, I probably had the most cars that were unlisted for the long period of times. I've never had that in any other year before, and it's because this year I had a lot of really random things happen. My Vanderhall, the axle went out like 3 times, and that's a manufacturer defect. On my BMW, I think it was the water pump that went out. On my other BMW, I had a wheel bearing go out. And what else did I have on my Polaris? I think it was like the vacuum hose that went out, had to get the starter replaced. So just like a bunch of really random things, which only started to happen as the cars began to age and had more miles on them. And these are things I never have I had to experience before, because usually, I got rid of my cars when they were still fairly young and before the problems kicked in. So I just realized, constantly thinking about that exit strategy and exiting out of one position to the next, that I made a huge mistake not rotating out of my cars last December when I should have, because that's usually when I do it. And then I wanted to do some of the cars this year, but then the pandemic happened. I mean, of course, you have all your excuses and reasons as to why you didn't do things, but yeah, it was just a mixture of things. March, April, May, business was terrible with everything going on. And then actually dealership sales are up. So there's not really too many incentives going on right now, because sales are actually doing really well for them. So I'm hoping come December, things might slow down in the car buying world. I don't know. But when those incentives do come around in December, which I think is one of the best times of year to buy, I will begin to rotate out of my cars, because I don't like having these random problems. And again, it's such a variable. One thing could go wrong with your car and it could take 2 to 3 weeks to fix. My Vanderhall has been in the shop now for almost 2 months, and they're literally still trying to get parts. So it's just, I realize that the mistake is having older cars on the platform. The more miles they have, the more problems they have. That is just a fact. And I'm somebody who does maintain my cars regularly and very well. New tires, alignments, oil changes, fluid flushes, you name it, I do it. But I think just because of the nature of the business, there's so many different types of people that are driving your car. Just all kinds of things happen. And it does take a toll on these cars eventually, which is why I really stick to my philosophy of keeping newer cars on the platform, because it just maximizes your ability to make money. Your utilization is higher, the likelihood of your cars going down for maintenance issues is far less. So that's kind of what I was looking at today. And now I got to figure out over the course of the next 4 months that are left in this year how I'm going to undo my mistake. And I would have had a better year had I had newer cars on the platform than what I have right now. I really like my set of cars that I have on the platform, but it's just too many random things that continue to happen. I'm really tired of having my cars unlisted. And if you've ever had a car unlisted on the platform, then you know that it is somewhat of a process, depending on what it is, to get it relisted. And so, it just takes up too many days of, non-revenue earning potential days that could have been. So that was a big mistake that I made, and I got to figure out on how I'm going to exit out of some of the cars that I have and get into newer ones. And I'm pretty much going to spend every single day of the last 4 months that are left of this year making sure that I do that, because come 2021, we all need a fresh start. That's for sure, given how the year has gone. I just really want to be in a very strong position, and I want to strategize well. And so, if you're not thinking about 2021 right now, you probably should. The next 4 months are going to fly by. As soon as you get into that holiday mode, the days just fly off the calendar, and next thing you know, it's New Year's, and you don't want to be sitting on New Year's Eve trying to think about what your resolutions are or what your goals are. You want to do that now, because it takes time and preparation, and you want to get it cemented into your head so that you can execute and follow through on that. So that's just kind of what was going on in my mind tonight as I was kind of looking through things. But yeah, so that's kind of that. I've had an oddly slow week on the Turo platform. I have no idea what's going on or why my rentals have just kind of dropped off. Let me know how you guys are doing, or if anyone else is experiencing this. I am noticing a lot of inventory available, so I don't think that it's just me, but it's possible. Let me know how your guys' week went, how your weekend went. I had a very slow weekend, and I have so far a very slow week coming up, but today is Monday. But every week is a new week, so that's one of the things that you have to remember when you're doing Turo. Every single week is a new week. This is a weekly business. Every Monday, your calendar refreshes. If you had a bad week, you have a new week to try and make up for the bad week. If you're out of town or whatever might be going on and your cars are unlisted, you have a new week to start again, to start fresh and kind of, be competitive and be aggressive and get those rentals. So just remember that this is a weekly business. And so I'm actually glad that it was Monday, because I kind of felt a little sad this past weekend that I didn't have a great rental weekend. So I was actually looking forward to today and having it be a fresh week and to try to gain more bookings for the week to come. All right, you guys, on that note, that is it. I will keep you guys posted on my journey of getting out of these cars and getting into newer cars. I wasn't making as many videos back then when I was flipping in and out of cars, so I would definitely love to share that part of it, because it's kind of interesting how you deal with dealerships and trading in and out of cars and avoiding negative equity and things like that. So as I do that, I will definitely share that. All right, you guys, now I'm really gonna go to bed. Take care, have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.